Last year we graduated a bunch of seniors, more experienced team, so they could handle the rigors of traveling and back-to-back big races. And each year we also highlight what races are going to be important to us. Last year we went out to Notre Dame. We went to Paul Short, and we ran New England. So New England's last year, although it was an important race, it wasn't one of our what we call our highlight race. This year with a younger group and possibly have an impact from younger athletes on the team, we just decided to kind of pull back on a lot of the travel. And it worked out really well for us at the D2 Challenge. The biggest challenge we had with our season so far is the heat. It was very, very warm and humid at the D2 Challenge, and then we went to Franklin Park at the Codfish Bowl simply to get our feet on that course in preparation for the New England Championships. It ended up not perfect for us simply because of the heat again, but the kids handled it just fine. And now it's one of the races that we're kind of leading into now that we really want to do well at. The men's team is so cohesive this year. We only kept a roster of 15 this year. We had a lot of kids try out, but kind of condensed the roster just to have the intensity be higher. And the leadership with Kenny, Riley, and Jimmy, all new captains, has really taken off. I think they've really got this team well prepared. And I'm not surprised at all if those three especially have big days. And then the group behind them, we can only put 7 on the line, but there's probably 10 kids that could easily have the job of being in the top 7. So, our expectations are high, more so from, a Stonehill standpoint as opposed to globally. We don't worry too much about what's going on outside the gates of Stonehill. We just try to train as hard as we possibly can and race as hard as we possibly can, and remember that it takes a team. On the women's side, graduating Nicole and Aisha and Lexi, 3 of them were in our top 7. We took a hit, but I seem to be the only one that wasn't that nervous about it, because if you look closely at the results from last year, at the NE10 championship, our top 7 did really well, but the next 7 did really well, and they were young and still developing. So they didn't disappoint me. They're still really young, but they're pretty intense. I'd say Emily Knox and Mackenzie Sayre, Anna Loster running really strong up front. And again, we probably have another 7. Any one of them will eventually make the top 7. We don't talk about it too much because it's irrelevant. So the 7 I put on the line this week are the ones that maybe this week are most prepared, least banged up. We've got a few colds on the team, so that may change again. But for the women, I know that there's been some talk of what does it take to be all New England, which is top 15. So that's telling me that they're very focused. And if everybody runs their best and collectively, I'm pretty confident that we'll do really well.
So this year we put our focus on New England's anyways, and this past September we went undefeated, but we were at a lot of low-key meets, I guess. So even though we won most of them, or we won all of them rather, this weekend is probably the big weekend for us, and this is our big one for now anyways, until we move further into championship season. So we're just trying to put all our cards on the table, and we're going to see what we got, because we have a big team mentality this year, and even if it's a small group of guys, we have a lot of talent, and beyond that talent, it's a very tough and dedicated team. So we're trying to showcase that this weekend. The past 3 weeks has been a really big training block for us. Last year we went to Paul Short, and that was great, but like I said, focus this year is on New England. So we're basically just going to see what we have, and we know that we have a good race in us pretty much. So we've been saving ourselves for this weekend, and having less meets on the schedule has kind of made us more prepared, I guess, for what we're going to encounter this weekend. The mentality for this year is very team-oriented, like I said, and our mantra is to train smarter and not harder. So in previous years, kids have burnt out, and you haven't been getting enough sleep or eating the right things before and after practice. But this year, there's been a lot of emphasis on that. We've had a lot of talks with physical therapists, different nutritionists, and we've gotten a lot of insight on what we should be doing. And Coach always says, if you want to do extraordinary things, you can't live an ordinary lifestyle. So we're kind of just going to go off that this year, and moving forward, it's hopefully going to give us a lot of success.
We came into the season knowing that every year it's different, and this year we don't have many races, so we really put focus on certain ones, and that just makes every time we step on the line more exciting. So I think this past weekend we're like really ready to show what we have. Our last race was really cuts down 3 weeks ago, so I think we're just really prepared, and this past 3 weeks we've had really great training to prepare for this. I think it really helps to have the older classes just to show the younger classes what to do, what's expected of us, and then they just really mold into the same mentality like all throughout the teams. Every year it's like the same intensity. We always have the same goals to do well at like the big races, and every other race is just to get to the bigger ones and really prepare for the end of the season. But this meet coming up is really the start of the championship season. Well, it's the same mentality with training smarter this year. That's really what Coach has been laying down for us. It's not necessarily like doing every workout as hard as you possibly can, but knowing why you're doing workouts and getting the rest you need. Just all about the races. It doesn't really matter like how fast we do and sickle run, it just matters what we do when we step on the line. So Franklin Park has a nice history to it, and it's really exciting to know that other people have raced there before and we know what to expect when we go there. And so going into this race, we know the first mile will probably be fast, and then it'll settle in for the second mile. Third mile, you're in the wilderness without any person, like anyone cheering you on, and you just have to get through that so you get into the final mark where everyone will be cheering you on to the finish. So going into this weekend, we all feel really prepared, and it's nice to have our teammates next to us so that when the gun goes off, you can get out hard, but you're with comfort and you know where you should be and sort of what to expect.